and just welcome everyone. It's been a year. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Ashley, it looks like you're like sitting outside like someplace nice and beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice out where I am.
Yeah. And then what state are you located in?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're in Pennsylvania? Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. All right, let's go around, do a round room, and let's do a introduction. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we're all here. Thanks, guys, for all meeting tonight. This is so great. All right, go ahead. Daryl, why don't you start?
Yeah, I'll give it a start. Obviously, my name's Daryl Dukacek. I needed another kidney starting in May of 2023, 22. Yep. Because it was my second one. I don't remember exactly where this all fit in. Then Ellen decided she wanted to get tested, and she did. We got the results, and she couldn't donate directly to me. So that's when we started the the pairing exchange program or whatever. And that's how everyone else got involved. So I'm a father of two, married for 30 some years, got three grandchildren. I guess that's about it for right now.
That's cool. That's great. Who is that little one that you got there behind you, Ashley?
That's my youngest son, Grayson. He's 7.
Oh, well, why don't you go next? Go ahead.
Yes, please do.
My name's Ashley. I started the process to donate probably around November of 22. And then I just kept on the journey till I was finally approved. And then I was approved and donated then to Daryl back in May of last year.
Yeah. I started my process in November of 22 as well for donation at the same time. So how about you, Kayleen? When did you start your process?
Gosh, it was probably like at least a full year before. I think January of 22, right? Yeah. January of 22. And I guess with Bruce's PKD, we've always known that he would need a kidney. It's not something that just sprung up. And so I just decided that I would do that. So we did the testing. So we were ahead of schedule before he actually needed it. And then his doctor said, okay, you better get this scheduled. Your numbers are down and it's a go. And then they threw a little wrench in and said, well, actually, Kayleen isn't really the best match for you. And so this whole time we had thought, okay, just take care of the two of us. We're staying healthy. Everything's good. And they're like, no, we're going to throw you in this paired exchange and see what happens. And we're like, ew, and it made us very nervous. Or me, and I mean, Bruce was very nervous about it all.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it. I didn't want your kidney. But do you know something that I look back and they already had your paperwork in the computer.
Yeah, because it was literally
that's why they did it. I think.
Oh, my paperwork.
Yes.
We signed whatever documents you had to sign saying yes, we'd go into the paired exchange, and within like 3 days they said yes, we have a perfect match for him.
That's cool.
So that took all, I guess, the worries away. I guess it was still a little nervous.
It was really hard taking your kidney. I've known my wife forever. It's just kind of weird.
I don't know you. I don't know that I want your kidney. I want her kidney.
Yeah, it's just something psychological.
Sure. Yeah, it was pretty weird for me too, because I thought that I was gonna do a match with Daryl, and they said, well, you have all these extra veins coming off in weird places. We're gonna look for somebody else for you. And I was like, what? And I actually got like kind of weird and teary about it. It was kind of odd because like I was like, sure. And then I thought, and after thinking about it for a couple of days, I was like, oh, well, think about all of the additional people that get to be helped in this process,
Exactly.
rather than just one person. So So Ashley, can I ask what inspired you to do a donation?
Um, I don't know. My grandfather's always suffered with stuff his whole life, and I just kind of decided I'd like to help somebody out. So I just figured I'd start the process and just kept praying about it, and I just came to being able to donate.
So you just stepped up and donated. You didn't have anybody in mind.
No,
Wow.
no,
That was a question I was going to ask because I was definitely wondering how you got involved, how everything started, and then, how were you notified about the pairing exchange to donate to me?
um, I don't know. I was just told that I'd be donating to somebody. I didn't get any names or
Right. At
anything.
that time, everything
And
had to be privacy, and I had to go through my
yeah,
coordinator. I'm sure you had to go through yours. So,
yeah, I was just told that I had a match, and that's pretty much where mine went. And all I knew is that everything went well after the surgery. That's all I was told
Yeah.
until we started writing, and that was about it.
Right. It was kind of interesting because then afterwards I was like, are they okay? What is everything okay? Did it take? What happened? And that's
Yep.
I just wanted to know, you know, such a big workup for everybody to go through the whole process.
It was hard after when they took my kidney, not knowing if the person was okay then after they got it or not.
Yeah.
But I eventually found out that he was doing well and everything, so it was good in the long run.
yeah, this process was completely different than the first time. I think I told you, shared with you, this was my second kidney. So I knew where the first one was coming from, which was a deceased donor. Um, well, I shouldn't say I knew it right away. It's the same process, but then I reached out to the wife of the gentleman who had donated my first kidney, and like I said, once that happened, I says, you know, someone gifted me a kidney. I just feel it's just reach out and thank them. And we said we shared a couple letters, and I says, you know, we can really, just email back and forth, whatever. Like to get to know more about you and you about me and stuff like that. So it was just kind of nice. And like I said, I can't thank you enough.
Ashley, how did that go for you with having little kids? Because my kids are older now. Bruce and Kayleen, your kids are all grown up. Daryl, your kids are adults. Obviously, you don't all have kids that are grown up.
Yeah, my daughter's 20, and then my son's 16, and then I have a 7-year-old son too.
Okay.
Oh, sound like us.
Wow.
So the older ones were able to take care of themselves, and my older daughter helped me out after I had the surgery.
Okay. That's great. Oh, wow. Bruce, why don't you talk for a minute? What happened with you? Tell a little bit about your story.
I have lots of them. I have a question for Daryl first. How long was your first kidney? How long did it last?
It lasted 6 years. I didn't realize that I shouldn't be picky, but you sign a paper do you want risky kidney or do you want something that's completely healthy? And I must have signed up for, which again, please don't take it the way it's going to sound.
No, I
but
already
I signed
know.
up for a risky kidney, and we knew that 3 years into it
Grayson,
that eventually
no.
something was going to happen, and sure enough, it did. And I believe, like I said, was it April or May of 2022 or 2022? So yeah, then I had to start the process. The first time around, I didn't need dialysis, but obviously this time I did. Was on the hemodialysis in clinic for about 6 months, and I heard about PD, so I did that right up until I received Ashley's kidney.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Your mom's
Hey,
your mom's my
Are you
hero.
ready?
your mom's a hero.
Tell me when you're ready. I'll give you the rundown.
Yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
I would have taken a pig kidney, a high risk kidney, anything not to have my wife cut open on the same day. That was probably the hardest thing for us. Doing studies for 23 years prior, got me ready for it.
You want to tell us a little bit about like you had studies done at the Mayo Clinic, right?
Yeah, you volunteer, and then a lot of it's repurposed drugs.
Okay.
A lot
So
of studies are done.
Your studies, did you go like under like they were doing like drug studies for kidney stuff, like that type of thing? And then did they study like did they take parts of your kidney off of on a microscope, that type of stuff, and see like what's happening? Or
they never touch the kidneys. I've had a million ultrasounds, CTs, MRIs. They didn't want anything to do with the kidneys. Now they'd have them somewhere. Mostly, so I was part of the tolvaptan, which is a drug that's USDA approved.
Yeah.
So tolvaptan is a drug that slows the progression. I think the other 3 ones that I didn't really do anything. So studies are weird. It's all about the pharmaceutical companies trying to get another drug on the market for something else.
so did you so Bruce, what did you have for your kidney disease? Like what did you have?
It's called PKD. It's polycystic kidney disease. And we found out later that I have the more aggressive one.
I don't know what that means.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. What does that mean?
She's asking what it means.
Oh, the more aggressive?
Yeah.
Or just explain.
Comes on harder. Your kidney goes faster.
Oh.
It's more aggressive. It's a gene mutation. So it's genetic, so my DNA is off. I'm still able to function somehow.
Oh.
Do you want to explain what it is?
PKD.
Yeah. Or
So PKD is polycystic kidney disease. I have cysts all over my kidneys. So I think I sent you pictures before.
Yeah.
And they look like they have little balloons all over them. Them are the cysts. The cysts degenerate the kidney.
Okay.
So they damage it until it's non-functional.
Wow.
My GFR was 6 when I had surgery. So it goes down to 0, and Daryl would know more about that. But
just going to add, I don't mean to interrupt you real quick. I can add to that because mine's genetics. That's what happened to me. I lost a kidney in 2001, and later found out that I had tuberous sclerosis complex, which is a genetic disorder. So it seems very similar to yours.
Yep.
Obviously, we had to do testing on my then young children. And then we had to find out where it all started. And my father's gene started the process that just filtered right straight down to myself, my children, and one brother and some of his children. So just wanted to add that. Yeah.
Yep. So my mother had it. She got a kidney transplant in, I think, 85. Hers lasted a long time, 15, 18 years. She didn't, nobody else before her that we know of had it. My sister has it, and my niece has it, and nobody else cares.
Aww.
This is a good way to go through life. You just don't give a shit. And maybe they don't have it, or you would have problems by this state in your life. I did the opposite. I searched out the studies.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Hoping they would cure it before I would need one.
Yeah. Wow. So it sounds like you guys both had like different kinds of kidney issues in there.
The key thing though is genetic.
Yeah. Is it?
Yep.
I know that I got asked after surgery if, because my kidney went to Daryl, if because of his kidney issues, if then my kidney would eventually fail the same way. And I had to explain that that's not the case. That
is correct.
Right? Because it's all genetic. And so
all genetic in my case, and it sounds like in Ian Bruce's case. Yes.
Sure. Yep.
Daryl, did they take your other kidney out, or is it still in you?
No, that one's gone too. That one came out about a year before my original transplanted kidney basically died. And so both of my kidneys had the genetic disorder similar to what you have. And so the only kidney now I have left is Ashley's.
Okay, do you guys want to hear something freaky? Do you want me to keep talking?
Let's hear your freakiness. Bring it on.
4 days after I got your new kidney, they passed me out in taking blood. They couldn't revive me fully, so they took me to St. Mary's, which is the emergency room at the Mayo Clinic.
Okay.
The Mayo Clinic's like a city.
Yeah.
And they ran dye through me, and they found 2 spots on my native kidney and ended up being cancer.
Wow.
And they cured the cancer with by freezing and thawing.
Wow.
I think 3 rounds of it. I was out for it, but they shoved needles in me, and it's called cryoablation. And so then 2 months ago, they went in and took out my native kidneys. So I just have yours now.
It's
And I have
going
more
away.
energy than I've had in years since I've done that.
Woo woo.
Also, don't take any blood pressure medicine. Thank you.
And you're no longer taking any blood pressure medicine, huh? Wow.
I do not.
Wow. I know you said when we talked last summer, you said that you were on the down, you went from like taking like 6 a day and you were down to like 2 or 3 at the time.
More than 6.
I took 9 a day.
Yeah.
And then afterward, they wanted me to take one. You know, I would just get really lightheaded. I just had my yearly meeting, and they're trying to get me to take another one, and I just can't take it.
Really?
Yeah, it wants to make me pass out. I'm not sure what their theory is,
Wow.
why they're pushing it so hard, but
Yeah. Oh, golly. So how was let's ask Kayleen and Ashley, like how was your recovery time? How did you feel after you donated?
Sucked. Well, I have this nice little story. It was like 5 a.m. that next morning because I didn't end up even seeing him that whole day. And then like 5 in the morning, he's standing in my doorway just going and talking. I'm just like, get him the F out of here. And I was just like still completely out of it, but I just saw him. I'm like, what in the heck is he doing? But no, that was a funny thing. But no, we stayed in Rochester pretty much for that whole month. We ran home a couple times with the kids driving.
Because
We had our
you did your surgery in Rochester, Minnesota, but you guys live in Iowa, right?
correct. So we're only about an hour and 45 minutes away, but they wanted him to remain in Rochester.
Sure.
So we got a little apartment. And then that was probably the best part just because we were there and I wasn't home trying to do a bunch of stuff or
Sure.
take care of our youngest daughter and all of that. So I just slept. I literally slept for like a week. Would get up, take my walks. Probably the worst pain a few days was the gas pain in my shoulders and
Yeah.
it was just awful. And I'd go from ice packs to heating pad to ice packs to heating pad and sleep. So, but then, after that, things are pretty much back to normal. I still get tired more so than I did before.
I'm glad to hear you say that because sometimes I get really tired as well. And I just go, gosh, why am I so tired? And I was like, I wonder if it's still because nah, it's not because I donated a kidney. That was a year ago.
Oh no, I come home and it's just like, oh my gosh, I think I have to leave. And I'll take like a 2-hour nap.
Yeah.
It just is kind of crazy some days, but.
so isn't that weird that it has the opposite effect on me?
Yeah, well, no, it makes
sense. It was you before.
Yeah.
Right.
He was the one that would have to come home and take naps all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Like being like such so disadvantaged like that with such low kidney function.
Oh yeah, and then all the
makes
medicine,
sense. Yeah,
medicine that he was on and everything. So
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, for the and I would tell anybody that would say they want to donate that if you can tolerate, give yourself like a good week of hell. I mean, and then you just kind of gradually get back to things, and your body takes over and does what it does, and you're back to yourself.
How did you recover, Ashley?
The surgery went great, and I was good up until like 2 days after. I started breaking out in a rash from something that was used during the surgery. So I ended up allergic to that, and from like right around my ribs down to like my pelvic area, I broke out in a rash that itched like crazy.
Oh
Oh.
no.
So then I ended up with an
no.
infection. Then on top of that, I ended up with an infection.
Oh,
So they're not
wow.
sure if it was the glue that I was allergic to or what I was allergic to when what they used during surgery, but
Because it's super glue
I
and steri
I'm not
strips.
it was that blue it was a blue glue type stuff.
Oh really?
But whatever they used, I was allergic to it.
Oh my God.
But I could have dealt with the pain more than the itchiness
The
and
itch-
everything.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. It must have been awful. Like here you're trying to recover from a surgery and then you just feel like,
And it lasted for 3 weeks.
oh,
So that makes me
Ashley.
feel the worst, that you do a good thing and then
Yeah.
you probably had the thoughts of maybe I shouldn't have done that.
No, I didn't have that thoughts, but I was like, geez, why'd this have to happen? It
Oh,
was, they had me on like extra strength, Benadryl type things and creams and all sorts of stuff, and it wasn't helping it.
really?
Yeah.
Oh no. Was you
I would go to bed.
go ahead.
I would go to bed with like popsicles in my wrap thingy just because that was the only thing that calmed the itchiness down, and it was bad.
Gosh.
Wow. That sounds really difficult.
I'm just thinking of what a wimp I am. I'm thinking of how like even my incision would itch, and that was driving me crazy. I didn't have my whole body. Oh wow.
No doubt. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine having all of that reaction. I'm so sorry that that happened to you.
No,
And
it
you're
was
good.
okay, but other than that, everything went really well.
Yeah.
You're good now.
Yep. I
Cool.
just had my 1 year checkup yesterday, and they said my one kidney just with my one kidney, the function's back up to almost what both of my kidneys were before I donated.
Awesome.
That's great. Awesome. I haven't been in for my 1 year yet. So I had a sinus infection the last few weeks. So I was like, I'll wait till I get all this cleared up and then I'll go.
Don't forget.
I won't. I won't forget. So you said you were inspired just because of the stuff with your grandmother, and so you decided that you were going to donate.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question. Did you guys ever get like really odd or ill-informed perspectives while you were going through some of these processes, or any issues with it? Did anybody give you a hard time or anything like that, or was everybody pretty supportive?
For the most part, everybody was supportive, but I did get a lot of issues with like, well, why are you doing this just for anybody?
Okay.
But other than that,
What was your response to something like that?
because I prayed about it and I've always been one that I like to help people. So I like to help people any chance I can.
Yeah.
So if I can still be healthy and help somebody out with only one kidney, why not?
That's great.
I was gonna say that's awesome.
That is awesome. That's super cool. Wow.
I didn't have anybody say anything to me except
Sorry.
all the coordinators that you meet with prior to. And I would get off the phone and I would go to Bruce and the first thing I would say is, I swear to God, they are trying to talk me out of this. They just kept saying, okay, well, you don't have to go through with this. You don't have to do this. And I mean, every conversation it would start out that I have every right to back out. I could even back out laying in the operating room.
Yeah.
You can back out. You can, and I would be like, wow, are they like trying to tell me not to do this?
So Kayleen figured out she could back out. So if I had Ellen's kidney first, she could stop.
I told the doctor that.
So she went very early in the morning.
I said, oh, so he gets to go first and then I could just back out, right? They
How
didn't
did
think
that
was-
work? How did that work? I didn't mean to interrupt. Like I said, my understanding was all three of you had to be, well, at least I know Ellen was at St. Luke's early. I didn't have mine until a little bit afternoon, but I don't want to speak for Ashley. Were you there at your place early in the morning to donate? So it got flown to me.
Yeah, I had to be there at like 6 something in the morning.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that all of these surgeries were all happening at the same time. Like Kayleen and Ashley and I were all donating at the same time.
That's
And
what
I
I
was
thought.
really early.
I
Then
think we were all
Bruce-
doped up, so we couldn't say no.
Well, and then I think that
We're
Bruce and
both
Daryl and whoever our sixth person is, that
We're in the afternoon.
yeah, they all received theirs in early afternoon. So like everything was in motion for everything to happen all at the same time. So that's what I understand with talking to everybody. Which is, you think about it, that's
Oh,
pretty
it's
much a miracle.
crazy how they can plan that all out.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like Ashley, you're in Pennsylvania, and Kayleen and Bruce, you guys were in Minnesota, and Daryl and I were in Wisconsin. And like thinking about the teams of people and all of the helicopters that were flying and all of the aftercare people, and it's just fascinating, isn't it?
It
Ashley's
is.
would have had to been the most difficult.
That what was?
Ashley's all the way from Pennsylvania to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Well, do we know where the Kayleen's kidney went to? Or
Mine was-
is that still the mystery?
Yeah, I don't know who it is. But I was told it was right in Rochester. So I would,
Oh,
Oh,
but well, that was a little later. I don't know that we knew that right away because then I told Bruce, I was like, oh my God, we were probably sitting in the waiting room with this person.
In classes, we had
And
classes, but
we
there's
had to go to
20 people
different-
in there that
Yeah, so
had just been transplanted.
what
it
is
was
your,
just
what was your classes that you went to?
dietary,
Oh,
Unnecessary, but we
like in an 8x10 closet, there was like 20 of us. I mean, it was awful.
so did they just talked about like things you could do for your health and that type of thing and like recovery?
just your life going forward, I think mostly.
Oh,
It's stuff that they'd already told us.
sure.
But anyway, there's a lot of redundancy, I think, through it all.
Oh,
I keep telling you. At least where we were at.
so you just had,
Barely made, oh, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say,
It's
so you
like-
just had your other two kidneys. So you're all out of your other kidneys, Bruce. So now it's just the one, and everything's going okay.
Yes, I just had a biopsy. So I'm weird. I guess in the fact that they took my kidneys out on a Wednesday. I went home on Friday. Saturday, I was running a mini excavator. And Saturday afternoon, I was getting screamed at.
gee, I wonder
I
why.
didn't have any pain ever.
Really?
I was like, get in the house.
Did you guys take pictures of like all of the kidney stuff going on? I had my nurse, I had one of the nurses take a picture of my kidney and send it to my husband after they took it out.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
yeah, no way. They wouldn't even let me see yours. It was there in a box, and
You awake?
I was awake when I went in the operating room.
Oh, and it was sitting there and it was waiting
Yes.
for you? No way, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
But
that's
wouldn't,
they won't
so
let him
cool.
see it.
they wouldn't let me see it. He told me, "Oh, I'll take a picture. It'll be on your porthole," and he didn't do that.
I was
My
like,
doctors and nurses made a book of my whole surgery.
what?
See,
Oh,
that would be
really? I have-
really,
I have a book and all sorts of pictures from it.
that would be really cool. I'm just
Yes,
way into
please,
that.
please do, because
That's so
they never,
awesome.
yeah, that is awesome. But like I said, they never They never
highly
showed
unusual.
me anything or anything like that. Just put me out. Next thing I know is I got Ashley's kidney.
Yeah, I have a book. I can take
Wow.
pictures of it and email them.
That would be really cool. I would love to see that. Oh, how awesome. That's neat that you had that documented. What
Yeah,
did
it was nice
you
that they did that.
did you
Oh,
have
heck
to
yeah.
did you ask them to do that for you, or did they just do it?
No, they just do it.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh,
Wow,
how
we should
wonderful.
suggest that to Rochester.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Wow, gosh, how cool. That's great. So what is your one if you were like speaking to a group of people about your experience, what is something that you would say to them if they were considering or knew somebody that was in the market for an organ?
You're not asking me that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm asking all of you guys.
Oh, got it. Just do it. You can save a life.
Most people are uninformed. They're scared. They think it's bad.
Yeah. They don't know.
You hit that right on the head. There are a lot of people that just don't understand. Both times I flooded my Facebook and just no one got it, and just because I'm good friends with Ellen, she decided to step up. Otherwise, who knows? It might have been another deceased donor kidney.
Yeah, so well, it's interesting because until like before Daryl, I had not considered donation. It's funny because like I donated blood and I donated my hair and I did all sorts of fundraising, but I didn't consider donation until like the year beforehand. And my husband's one of his really good friends, his friend needed a liver donation. So my husband started undergoing the process to donate a liver. And let me tell you, it's a lot harder to donate a liver than it is a kidney. But
Why do you say that?
because like you have to be like clear about this and the other thing. If you're donating directly to somebody, you have to make sure like your weight has to be a certain point, your BMI has to be much lower. I mean, I could gain more weight and I would still be able to donate a kidney, but I couldn't gain more weight and still donate a liver.
Oh,
Donate
wow.
my liver. So like the restrictions are a lot higher. So anyway, he was undergoing a thing. So he was donating to a friend. And I said, why are you donating to him? And he's like, well, why should I not donate to him if I'm able to? And I said the same thing that a lot of other people have said. Well, it's not your family. It's not like that's your dad or your wife or your, kid.
You kind of are now, though.
What was that? Oh, right. Yeah. So he asked, he said these questions and I was like, and I asked him those questions and he said, well, why would I not do something like that? Like it's something that I can give of myself to help somebody else have a full life. Like he's got his own family. He's got his own friends. He's got other people that love him and care about him. So if I'm able to donate, why not? So I thought about that quite a bit. And then Daryl posted on his Facebook and said, hey, he's looking for an organ donor. And if anyone's able to donate, let me know. So at the time I was like, well, I might be interested. I'd thought about it. My husband and I talked about it quite a bit. And and I thought about it and I said, yeah, I think I could do it. And I was like, but I'm producing a big show right now. So after that, so then I finished the show in October and it was like November. And I was like, oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so let me go get evaluated. So that's how that worked for us. So, and personally, now that I've undergone the process, I know my recovery time was difficult for me. It was hard. Was it harder than anybody else? I'm sure definitely not. I was made very comfortable. It was a different situation for me. I'd never been in a hospital before for an overnight stay in my whole 46 years. So anyway, but he after I did it, I said, I wish I had a third kidney because I would go back and I would donate it anonymously. 100%. I would do it again. Yeah, makes a big difference. What I thought was really funny was before surgery, I saw Daryl, and through this process, Daryl and I got to be much better friends as we were going through some stuff, and I spent time with him and his wife. But I remember Daryl would come and he was doing in-home he was doing all of his in-home dialysis, and he was having a hard time sorting things out. And so then, after surgery, it was so different because his skin looks like how it does now. But before surgery, like his skin looked so gray. It was unbelievable how bad his skin looked. Like everything was just building up and he was having a worse and worse time as time was going on. So it was like, wow, what a difference like the one surgery made and how that changed things. So, I mean, Ashley, your kidney worked great. Because then I saw him, I walked down the hall to his room and I was like, hey, I made it.
Yeah, no, it's working really
And then I was
great.
like, you look like a completely different person. And he was up and standing around. He's like, hey, I feel great.
Yep.
He's got like all the cords sticking out of all the things. He's like, yeah, this is super.
No, it's working really great. I've had some other issues that put me back in the hospital a couple of times, and they always wanted to do a biopsy and whatever. He said, so I heard from the doctor, he says, whatever's going on here, it is not your kidney. Your kidney's functioning great. The whole 9 yards. So it's like, wow, I shouldn't say a good one. I mean, I got a masterpiece from you who I'm seeing on my screen. So I'm always going to thank you. We'll always share emails and stuff like that. But really, all right, I'm going to get a little emotional. Really saved my life this time.
I'm happy I could.
Awesome.
That's pretty special. Pretty awesome. You know, it was probably the best thing that I got a text message from Bruce sometime. I don't even remember, in this last year. And it was you and Kayleen at the Redwood National Forest. And I was like, look, they're just out there living their best lives and they're doing this awesome thing. And we know that if you'd be able to do all of these things, if everyone in this circle here hadn't made the steps that they had.
You have to too, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow.
Yeah. So we're gonna I just wanted to say that thanks everybody for joining. Do you guys have any cool, awesome things or questions you want to ask or tell?
Well, I was going to ask you to tell your journey. You've asked us all the questions. So like your recovery and what?
Oh, I felt like my journey was I felt like my entire kidney journey was a spiritual journey.
Okay.
It was cool. It was very powerful and about loving and caring about everything. And it was so special. And it was really interesting while through the donation process about how like something would trigger and they'd be like, oh, your levels are off. Well, we're gonna have to have you do a different test. And I would just like burst into tears.
Oh,
I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to donate. But it was really good. So my husband stayed at the hospital. He slept in a chair, and then he slept at where Darcy was staying, I think, for a night.
Yeah, he stayed with Darcy for a night.
And so they said, well, we want to fix you up with the painkillers that you need because you're donating. And I was like, I will take all the painkillers. Okay. So I was like, you bet, I'm good. But so I ended up staying at the hospital for 2 nights because the second night I was just having a tough time. And so it was good. The only thing that is long term as far as what I've had for an issue is that sometimes like sometimes I get tired, but mostly the weird thing that I find is that every once in a while I just get really dizzy. And I started noticing that like a couple months like maybe a month and a half after surgery, you know, I thought everything was okay, but I would get so bad that one time then I finally went into the emergency room. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And they're like, well, we should check your cholesterol. I was like, you don't need to check my cholesterol. My cholesterol is really good. I'm the healthiest person I know. I'm good. I just went through a whole battery of tests for like 6.5 months. I'm healthy. It's not my cholesterol. And they're like, we don't know what it is because it was a walk-in clinic, you know, in town. But yeah, I did really good. Just sometimes I just get dizzy like once in a while.
So standing up or walking or
standing up or walking, like I'll get like
stand up.
weird vertigo. What?
When you stand up, it happens, or when you're just walking?
Sometimes it'll happen when I stand up. Sometimes it'll happen like it just feels like everything just kind of tilts just a little bit once in a while, and it's just brief, and it's just a really odd. I don't
So
know.
that's the feeling I get when I stand up. That's low blood pressure.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
You're looking
okay,
to grab something.
yeah, that would make sense. Well, I know
Well,
that I've always
maybe
had low blood
it's
pressure.
just happening at the same time Bruce is feeling dizzy.
Yeah, I'll start making notes.
And then it just kind of goes through to you and you get a little dizzy.
I'll
that
call
what-
you after I get up off the floor next time.
Okay, there you go. So did now do you work? Did you have to take time off of work for all of your procedures for you guys?
I had to.
Did you?
Yeah.
How long did you take off of work?
Um, I had to take off work when I had some of the testing done, and then I think I was off work 6 or 8 weeks.
For you?
Yeah.
I wish I had taken off a little extra time because I went back
How
after
long were
3
you?
weeks. I went back to work after 3 weeks, and I
Yeah,
was
she went back too
wow.
early.
that first week, even though I sat at a desk, I was just like, what am I doing here? This is
Oh,
not.
your brain isn't even working. Or mine wasn't.
I know. Well, that's good. So you didn't have any problems with getting off of work or anything like that for your job, Ashley?
No, I didn't.
No, that's good. Good. And then when you went back to work, were you ready to go back to work?
Yeah, I was ready to go back. I still got tired pretty easily for a while, but I'm pretty good now.
Good.
Awesome.
How about you, Kayleen? Were you working or were you retired or were you?
We're self-employed
Oh, I knew that.
landlords.
That's
Yep.
right.
So we had my son ended up, did he do 6 weeks?
Yes, so we had to have two caregivers instead of just one. So my son works on the works union on construction on the highways.
Okay.
And the first week was great. His boss thought it was great. And the second week was, yeah, hey, great. Hope everything's going good. The third week was, you got to get back here. And the fourth week, he about got fired. But our son ran all over for us. And they can't fire you for that. It'd be a really bad thing if they would do that. But they just really needed him back,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do know that's a big part of the donation. And if you have a caregiver, and I mean, you won't even get past the first test unless you have somebody set. And that was the hardest part because that's usually me for Bruce. And then all of a sudden it's both of us. And so we had my son take off work, and then my daughter also has her own business. And so she blocked off 2 weeks, and then she was back here to help with our youngest daughter. So
Wow. That must have been tricky
but
with
it's a lot of scheduling. Yeah.
Tell us about your car rides afterward. Who drove?
Your car ride. Oh.
My
When
car
you had to
ride?
go, yeah, everybody. We have a funny story to tell you.
Ashley, were you able to drive right away, or did someone have to drive for you?
I wasn't allowed to drive for, I think it was 2 weeks after.
Who drove you around?
My daughter, who was 19 at the time.
So maybe
How was that? Was she a good
It was
driver?
okay. Yeah, she wasn't bad.
so we had our was he 19 at the time? No, he would have been 20. He was 21. Our son was 21, and he's like a race car driver.
All around.
Oh my God. I mean, he would take the corners or bumps, and I'm like, and Bruce would be in the back seat.
It was interesting.
And so yeah, that we're like, can you just like go slow and start gradually, and you're like holding your stomach, and
No.
so yeah, I think I was glad to finally start driving. Yeah, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks, but
She drove first.
yeah. And then I just started tooling around Rochester and taking him down to his appointments,
That's cool.
stuff like that. So.
I found it was really interesting, like how once they cut through the stomach and all of the sheath that all your intestines are in, you know, for me, I had so many. I just felt like everything was like.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, I got a binder or whatever, but then I'd forget to put it on or it was uncomfortable. And so the one time it was like I don't know, a week maybe, and I slept on my side and then I woke up and all of my stomach stuff was
Everything
on one
just-
side of my body and I was like, ah, ah. And
Oh,
my
yeah.
husband, he was like, what's going on? And I was like, I need
It's
you to roll me onto my back.
Can't move.
The binder, we think, or at
I
least
was
I do,
gonna
is a lifesaver.
Yeah, I use the binder all the time for quite a while.
So as far as receiving your new kidneys, what's on the horizon? Anything exciting or new? Are you gonna go climb Mount Everest, or you know, go ahead and cross the Sahara or thing? No, it's good.
No, I'm not doing any of that. Like I said, I was given the gift. I'm not blowing it. And well, my story is, like I said, even though it's my second one, I know, and I really am deep on this, you know, you're allowed to drink alcohol, but I refuse to do that. I had my first shot of alcohol last Thursday to celebrate my 1 year. Otherwise, I just said, even with the deceased donor, I said someone was willing to donate a kidney to me. I know you can drink alcohol and all that other crap, but someone was willing to donate to me. This time with a living kidney, I took it even more, where Ashley was kind enough to give me my my second or third chance at life. And so I don't drink alcohol except for the shot I had this last Thursday.
We don't drink very much. I still will have a drink. Ellen, do you drink?
Huh. I'll answer on her behalf.
But I didn't for quite a while after donation. So
I know she likes strawberries.
I like strawberries. So yes, I do drink, but I do try to watch the other stuff, like, you know, like not taking ibuprofen and watching not taking, like, having a lot of dark soda. So like once a month I'll be like, I'm gonna have a Coca-Cola, you know, because they recommend about like keeping away from dark sodas. So
Yeah, mine's the opposite.
what was that?
Mine's the opposite.
Is it?
Yeah. They had me drink them.
Oh, really?
Oh, because you were trying to get phosphorus with his phosphorus.
It's got phosphorus in it.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But I have a kind of a funny thing, and it's just something Daryl said about the donor. The deceased donor had made a decision to be a donor at some point in time, and there's a funny TikTok. This guy talks about like teenagers, funny texts that they get from teenagers or whatever, and they're like, parents, please explain to your children that if you put down on your driver's license that you want to be a donor, it doesn't mean like right now they're going to pop one of your eyeballs out, or that they're going to call you tomorrow and you have to cut off whatever. And so I mean, and that's the truth. And so my 14-year-old went to get her permit, and the gal asked her, and she kind of turns and looks at me, and I'm like, hello, yes, you will be a donor. I was like, you won't be here anyway, so if you can help somebody.
Right.
It's the unknown that people just don't even understand it. I mean, like,
I don't think it's talked about, like, and understood, like, about what a big difference is. They're like, hey, donate your organs and save a life, and then that's kind of like it, you know. But they don't talk about, like, and I think it's hard, like, for people a lot of times to talk about getting the opportunity to talk about how this can be such a big, huge, life-changing thing, you know, and like it changes people's lives. You're saving lives when you do it. But most people, that's all they know is just like, oh, you should donate and save a life.
So I can tell you something on the flip side.
Yeah.
My sister's going through it right now.
Oh,
She's just going to do dialysis. And she's been,
in clinic or at home?
they're thinking at home.
Then
I
that's
don't
the
know how
best
long
way to,
it'll
that's the
last.
best way to go if she's not, because I studied that too before I went on PD dialysis. This is, I really looked, and there are a lot of people who, I shouldn't say don't want to get a kidney, but you can live very well. I mean, sure, it's time consuming. I did it every day. Well, except for if we had a show or something like that, I would skip that night. But it's pretty, it's every day. Well, I'd rather do an every day than go 3 times a week in clinic and feel like, pardon the pun, absolutely shit when I got home.
You
So-
felt a lot better doing the nightly.
What's that?
You did nightlies?
I did night. Yeah, I did night. I think it's, what is it, peritoneal dialysis or whatever.
Yep.
So I was hooked up to the machine all night. And like I said, if this were to happen again, and I don't, it's not going to, because like I said, I put myself through hell and back. And the first thing they always worry about is my kidneys. And my kidney doctor says, well, it's not your kidney, it's rocking and rolling. This sucker is really, really, really well. So, I anticipate a long time with this kidney, but if I had to choose dialysis again, if something were to happen, I'd have to do in clinic until they put the ports all back in me, but then I'd do it at home. And then I don't know if I'd do another one or not. Some people have done this PD for 30 plus years.
No, I know it.
So it's kind of like,
that was my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Was to have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, yep, you do. Well, you sleep every night. Even if you can't sleep, well, fine. You look at your machine until you fall back to sleep. So I would do it again. I don't anticipate it because Ashley gave me one hell of a kidney. And, like I said before, any issues I have, it's not the kidney, it's something else going on. And I says,
I think she wants it back.
I said, we'll see what we can do. I'll fly out to where, okay.
I'm just
I don't want it back.
I got her to smile.
That's good.
awesome.
You're pretty special, Ashley.
She is.
Thank you.
Yes.
And her stories, like I said, I'm glad we got this opportunity, because I didn't know if your story was you were going to donate to maybe this mystery person and you couldn't, but your story was you were willing to donate to whoever possibly needed it, and they reached out to you in our particular case and their particular case, or hey, let's get together, and Bruce needs a kidney, I need a kidney, the mystery person needs a kidney. And Ellen and I were shocked how fast that process went after we signed the paperwork. It was like, oh, 3 weeks later, we've got these or the total of 6 people to do this thing. And like I said, then 3 weeks later, on May 31st, we're in our respective hospitals.
Yeah.
Yep, they told me when I first signed the papers that it could take several months.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when I got a call and said it would be in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes. And then, okay, years went fast too. Yeah. It's like I said, I know I'm repeat myself, but as soon as Ellen and I signed the paperwork, we hear from our coordinator, and holy crap, that went fast.
I got a funny story right when that happened.
Okay.
So whatever, TMI, but we shared kidneys. It's not a big deal. So I had an appointment scheduled to go to my OBGYN to talk about going on to stuff for perimenopause, because I was having all the hot flashes, the night sweats, sleeplessness, and I did all of the natural things, and I was so frustrated and so irritated. And so I went to the OBGYN and I said, I'm ready to start see if there's like something that I can take to help with this. And she's like, well, okay, I saw you in January and you were undergoing evaluation for a kidney. And I was like, right. And she said, okay, well, do you know when that surgery is? And I said, no. And she's like, well, did you want to talk to your kidney coordinator first about that? And I said, well, look, why don't you give me the prescription for it? And then I will call my coordinator and see if I can take it because it's estrogen. And of course, there's estrogen issues with blood clotting, right? They don't want you to do something like that. So I was like, I'll get the prescription, I'll call my coordinator and see if I can start taking it. And so I get this prescription for like a little patch to put on my, and then change where it's at or whatever to see if it helps alleviate some of these symptoms. I get the prescription and I say, okay, great. So I call my coordinator and I was like, hey, they gave me a prescription for this estradiol and can I start taking it? And they're like, well, sure, you can start taking it, but you have to stop it like 3 weeks before surgery. And I was like, oh, and I was like, we don't have that on the scheduled yet. And I said, so should I start taking it? And they're like, no. And I was like,
Oh,
damn it. So it was like 2 days later, then they called and they said, we have a date. And I was like, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
I honestly think it's computer driven.
Because I just want to sleep. I just want to stop sweating. That was my funny story. So anyway, I didn't start taking it until like, I don't know, it was almost 3 months later because before like any of my symptoms returned, but it was just kind of my funny thing. I just remember they're like, yeah, you can get that prescription. That's a good idea, but you can't take it like 3 weeks before surgery. And I was like, okay. Anyway, it was just funny. So good. Well, what's everyone gonna do this summer? Anything fun and exciting?
No, not really.
Crickets.
Continue
You're gonna
my side jobs.
Good.
You don't do anything fun and exciting?
Well, I do, but that would take a long time to. I do video work. I do video work for Ellen. I also do some side stuff, and I'm also in the process of building a legacy video business, where you all would be wonderful for that. Not that I'm trying to sell it today. I'm just saying, you tell your story about your whole life, and in your case, Bruce, it would be, well, I've done this, and then I had kidney issues, and then I received a donation. Anyway, so I have that on the side, and while I'm waiting for the summer to get over with, I was a crossing guard. So I'm on disability for other things, but you're able to work X amount of hours and so on. So I'm a crossing guard for the city, but I'm also looking to add to that with this side gig and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Otherwise, just watching my youngest granddaughter because her and her mother live with us.
Cool.
Ellen?
I don't know. I'm currently painting my kitchen. So it's very exciting. Very exciting stuff indeed. So yeah, I'm gonna go some water park and go a couple of up north adventures or whatever. Nothing too major. So I went on a cruise with my grandfather and my mother and my aunt and their significant others in January. So this summer I'll stay close to home. So yeah. How about you guys?
I think we're gonna fly to Oregon and drive around for a week.
Wow, that's cool. And just go check it all out, huh?
We just fly in, rent a car, and start driving.
That sounds
Just wander.
awesome. That's wonderful. It's so pretty up there. It's so pretty. How about you, Ashley?
Not much. I'm helping to care for my grandfather now, so I've been helping him go through stuff in his house to try to sell it and
Yeah,
just do day trips with the kids.
that's cool. That's good. Hey, just one question I had for you, Ashley, is you said it was family that was your catalyst for thinking you wanted to donate. So where did you reach out to, or who did you reach out to when you decided to undergo like the process? Did you have a link or a hookup or someone that you had talked to about that? Or did you just approach your hospital or look online?
I had looked online and did some research on things, and the UPMC hospital around here was rated for the best around here for doing that. So that's who I went through, and they were wonderful.
Yeah, were they?
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one brother.
Are they in that area?
Yep, my whole family's in
Nice.
close to where I'm at.
That's great. That's super cool. Aw, good. Well, I guess we could probably wrap it up. I think we've been here for an hour. So I was gonna try to keep it to an hour, but I think we could probably talk for like another 2, but I know we'll have to do this again. So thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna put this we've recorded this video, so I'm going to put it up on YouTube so you guys can share with your family or your friends. I'll send you all the link. Thank you for everybody for being awesome and being amazing heroes, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So blessed.
Yeah, it's amazing how this whole process went. So I mean, I have 2 angels, obviously, and I'll always call both of them my angels because Ellen was willing to, and I was able to get from Ashley the gift of life to like you said, I'm able to do things again, stuff like that. So if it's sappy, so be it. But my 2 angels are Ellen and Ashley.
Awesome.
I'm looking at 3 idols here. I guess they're angels.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they all are. Yeah, I didn't want to
you.
exclude.
We got 3 of them.
Yeah, because if she doesn't donate or isn't willing to donate, the whole thing goes to kaput.
What a blessing. I think sometimes about how wonderful it is to have been able to donate in this day and age versus 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, when I think it was a lot more basic. Now, when in the process of donating, we had such great recovery and such great care, and the whole thing just seemed to go really, really well, except for your allergic reaction. Poor Ashley. I know, other than that, seems like things went pretty darn good, but
Yeah, at first I thought they might have denied me at first just because I'm a single mom with 3 kids
wow.
and not really having a full support system.
Mm-hmm.
But then they approved me as long as my daughter,
Was that
currently being 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So they just did it as a single mom and you're able to donate anyway. Some people come back and they say, oh, well, I can't do it because I don't have a support system in place, but it sounds like you did.
Yeah, they were kind of leery at first, but I reassured them that I'd be just fine, and they allowed me to with my daughter helping me.
That's pretty awesome.
They deny a lot of people for not having support
Yeah, that's what they told me.
on both sides.
Bruce said once to the coordinator up in Rochester that they should have a service that does that for people. That, I mean,
Yeah.
somebody could get a kidney and they won't be able to get it because they don't have anybody at home to help or take care of them. Even if they say, oh,
Yeah.
I can have a nurse come in, but there should be that service available.
Yeah, I
That'd
agree.
be good.
With all the money involved, that would be just a little bit
Yeah, just to,
to have somebody hang with you for a month for all the money that they're already spending. It was just my idea, but they didn't.
I think it's a great idea. I think that they continue to strive to make improvements for people that are donating. I think that they keep making things better and better. So
Yeah.
I just feel very blessed by the whole experience. So I just want to say thanks to you guys, to all of you. And I hold y'all in my heart.
thank you.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
Nice meeting all of you. Ashley, it was nice seeing you
nice
in
to meet
person
you.
after all our email and letter exchanges. We'll definitely
Nice
stay in
meeting you
touch.
guys too.
Yes,
Thank you.
for sure. Well, good. You guys have a fantastic evening, and take care and keep in touch, and I'll send you the video link later on down the road. Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Bye.